man, I love your Sona. It must have always been so peak. That's not a boom. What is that? Hey Yappers, it's Bree, and a lot of people have asked me the question of, how did you come up with your persona? It took many years for me to come up with the beauty that I have today. And speaking of today I'll be answering that question. I will go over the evolution of my persona, and while I don't have them all because they're pretty much scattered, I don't know where they're all at, even with the small amount that I do have currently, boy are the changes different. Moving on. But before I begin, my lovely super thank yous. Who is listening to country music outside my house right now? Rui-B6Z, BoAfficial13, Stolingo.Nora, Cherry Animates, Kazuna Endy, and Shining Novelties. And as always, my lovely VTuber was made by my lovely pal Yummy. His commission information is in the description, so you should totally check him out. Along with his commission information is my webcomic Crash Landed, and any questions you may have. What are SONAS? I'm sure most of you guys know, but just as a refresher and for those who are unaware, because in my last video a lot of people were unaware, or they got the terms mixed up. So basically, SONAS are what we represent ourselves with. Characters, if you will. And you'll notice that I interchange the term persona and sona a lot in this video depending on whether I'm speaking about myself or SONAS generally. And that's because there's different types of SONAS. There's personas, fursonas, so many SONAS, I love them all. If I were to name them all, we'd be here all day. A lot of people in my last video relating to SONAS, does your Sona have to look like you, got SONAS and OCs mixed up a lot. So just to re-clarify, a Sona and OC are two different things, but they can overlap sometimes. A Sona is again a representation of you. It's usually based off of you to some degree, and it doesn't exactly have lore in a lot of cases, but sometimes they do. OCs, on the other hand, are original characters. And while technically personas are considered OCs because they're also original characters, they're kind of different, at least when people are speaking about them. OCs are usually characters thought up by the artist. A lot of the time they contain lore and world building, but not always, of course. Sometimes people will make their OCs their persona because they love them so much, vice versa. But alone, they are again two separate things within discussions. It's like, again, personas could count as OCs technically, but in discussion they're usually not the same thing. Does this all make sense? Yeah? Okay, yeah, let's go. And like I said in the video of mine I just referenced, while SONAS are based off of you, they do not absolutely have to look like you. They can be furries, humans, aliens, animals, anything really. They're a form of self-expression, and maybe it's your dream look, or maybe just their personality is based off of you. Maybe they do look like you. Maybe it's based off what you love. But one way or another, they're usually based on something in relation to you. They can be detailed or even simpler designs like the Odd Ones Out or Jaden Animations. Both of which being pretty simple designs, but still very recognizable at the same time. But with all of the possibilities for your Sona, a lot of people are left wondering, how do I even make mine? Where do I start? How do people do it? And honestly, all these questions are valid. I have such a hard time making decisions. Hell, I went through 4 different sprites throughout this channel, and now I'm finally settled with this model. Mainly because I couldn't decide on a style, outfit, etc. And believe it or not, a lot of the most simple Sona designs have a lot of work put into them. Because for a lot of people, it can be very hard to find a design that suits them. So even if you see a simple Sona, it might have taken a lot of phases to get there. But that's okay. It's normal to be stumped on what your Sona looks like. I mean, my Sona started off with a girl in t-shirt and shorts with short blonde hair. And then it moved to a blonde pigtail girl in a sweater. And I upgraded with an OO mask, and added some accessories. Then I reached a Danganronpa inspired outfit. I'm pretty sure I had a lot more phases. I just can't remember them all and I can't find them. But way later, my Sona finally settled on this. And fun fact for those who don't know, both my old and current Sonas were all based off of my real life appearance. Right before I started this channel, I dyed my hair black and red. And I got a little septum piercing. And then I just put a basic black dress on, which kind of turned into a red by now. I just really like red. And the only thing that is a bit different from me is that I don't have this necklace yet. And also my skin isn't pure shining white, or really gray now. It also changed too. I don't know what happened, but I think it was just easier to color. But yes, I have a real skin tone in real life. It's not just like gray. So for the most part, it was definitely based off my real life appearance. Although now, I definitely don't look like my current Sona. I mean, I have rainbow hair now. But it took a few attempts to get something simple but easily recognizable as a Sona. But it took me a while and I had a lot of concept sketches. But the few weeks that I was creating it was perfect, because at the same time I was awaiting my new video mic and was writing my first video script. Styles don't always take like 5 minutes to make. Sometimes it could take weeks or even years to develop. You might have a lot of Sonas along the way, and that's okay. On the bright side, it's definitely cool to look back on. But now to actually answer the question. What are some ways to find your Sona? And I want to note, no, these are not the world's most original ideas. They're just tips that help me along the way of making my Sona put into one video. So nothing revolutionary is here. And if you came for something incredibly groundbreaking, I apologize for the disappointment. Yeah, sorry, no, I'm just throwing out advice and hoping it helps someone. We're all on board? Good? Good. First thing I like to figure out is, do I want it to resemble me in real life or no? This is a more easier question to build off of. Some people are very sure they want it to look like them, or they absolutely don't, or maybe there's just some features about themselves they do want in their Sona. What do you want based on you? Like maybe your hair color, or maybe a small feature in yourself that you find unique and you want in your Sona too. Figure out the style you love. This helps for clothing, or fur/skin patterns. Do you want a more detailed or simple Sona? This also helps you figure out how much you actually need to brainstorm. Because if you want it very, very detailed, you might want to brainstorm a bit more. What do you like to draw? Humans? Furries? Aliens? There's a lot of options. What helped me was figuring out what I love to draw most, and humans are my favorite thing to draw. You can even base your Sona on the show you like. Like I have an alternate turtle Sona for the TMNT universe. And other Sonas that would require me to show self-ship art. Who said that? Who said that? Take inspiration from other Sonas. Look at how people draw themselves. This is something that I did to kind of grasp the differences in all the Sonas. I picked up what I liked in some Sonas to give me some direction. You can also just get inspiration from characters generally too. Know what you like. This can go back to what do you like to draw, what's your favorite style. In fact, just make a list of all the things you like. Whether it be aesthetics, clothing, fandoms, colors, etc. You can use this later on to eliminate what you don't like too. Make sure to have a ton of reference sketches. You're not going to always like it first try. So try and sketch out a bunch of ideas. Even if they're just small bits like eye ideas or, I don't know, hand ideas, whatever. Then sort out the ones you like and the ones you don't like. And if needed, get some friends to help you look through them. It's fun to do with a friend, and it also gets you a second opinion. And remember, it's a representation of you. So have fun with it and make it what you like. Express yourself and have fun. Going into it like it's a necessity and you need one now will make it seem more like a chore than just something for fun. And that'll just make it harder on your motivation. And remember, as long as you are happy with it, that's what matters. Having a second opinion is good, like I said. That I wouldn't have recommended it if it wasn't a good thing. But relying too much on what other people think can also stunt you. It doesn't have to be crazy detailed or super recognizable. Whether it's detailed or basic, whether it looks like you or not, make it what you want it to be. We a lot of times let other people's opinions take over fully. Well, again, it's absolutely great to receive feedback. Don't go into it thinking, how can I make my Sona appealing to others? Sure, it's great to have a silly recognizable Sona, but if it's representing what people want you to be and not yourself, that's not so great, is it? But basically, let loose and don't treat it like a chore. The perfect one will eventually come to you, even if it's not when you want it. Because artworks like that take a lot. We want our styles right here and right now. We want our improvement right here and right now. But art takes time. We all work at our own pace, so don't be discouraged when someone seems to be working faster than you. It took me a long time to get this Sona, and it still might change in the future. Because a lot of times, our Sonas grow with us. As we as people change, and as well as our appearances, so can our Sonas. And I think that's a lot cooler than just having one design. And I think that thought is a lot cooler than the thought of having just one design. But aside from that, those are my tips. And that's how I figured out how I got my Sona. This might not be the most helpful video in the world, and maybe you've heard dozens like it, but I hope I can at least help one artist out there with this video. I appreciate you all for sticking it all the way through, and thank you all so much for 157,000 subscribers. I want to try and reach 160,000 by the end of September, so it'd be great if you helped out with my goal. But regardless, remember to love your art, love others, and love yourselves. Bye-bye!